tone I need for the recording. So hello poor people, how are you today? In tonight's discourse, I'll give you 2 traits of a successful person. So at the end of this video, you are able to analyze why you are where you are. And there are a bunch of them. I decided to condense to 2, the ones which I consider important as touching success. So the first is public opinion. When I analyze my success, it has been a consequence of heavily disregarding public opinion, what they would say or not say, hence my action. So your ability to not care about the reactions you get when you act, when you open that business, start something new, is heavily correlated to your level of success. I've shared the story of how I became profitable as a trader. About to learn the stock market, I sat on the floor, I learned how it worked on the floor. There was no aids, no light in a community where every single thing was fault. So there was no opportunity to enhance learning. In fact, every single thing was against me at that point. Yet, it wasn't an excuse to remain where I was. The problem I have with people is everybody wants a cool story. Everybody wants something to share. Everyone wants to act like they're mafia. But when the situation comes that provides the platform for you to overcome and produce what you desire, you run, you give up, you complain, you make excuses. Why me? Let me make something clear. Every single thing you are going through, someone else has gone through even worse than what you experienced and has come out the other side victorious. So minimize complaining and take action. Even the situation I complained about, I sat on the floor, learned stock market, I became a profitable trader. Let me make something clear. In the previous discussion, I told you I've made $5,000. Right now, it's significantly more, of which all of that gets reinvested into the business. That's a different discourse in and of itself. But the point I'm trying to highlight is minimize this level of complaints, excuse, something that happened for me or what happened and did not. So your ability to detach yourself from public opinion, what people would say, what they think of you, is directly correlated to your success. Even as an entrepreneur, your ability to become successful is heavily tied to your detachment from public opinion. Steve Jobs said it perfectly. If you want to be liked, don't be a leader. Sell donuts. Because as a leader, you make tough calls, you take tough actions, you have to detach from so many things. Leadership, public opinion. There are individuals today who would never, ever become successful, even if it was the Holy Ghost sitting on the presidency chair. They would never become successful because they are plagued by this idea, this over importance of externalities, what this other person would think. If I do this business, they are very, very afraid of what the other person would say. Which leads me to number 2, looking stupid. Looking stupid. At the infancy of that moment, sitting on the floor, learning how to be a profitable trader, there were friends, there were people who said all kinds of things. Look at him, he thinks he's better than us. Look at this person, look at what he's doing. My friend, as I said in the previous discourse, that most people will try and pull you down, not necessarily because that's what they want to do, but your standards are a direct reflection of theirs. It is profitable to complain as opposed to take responsibility. In a situation where they see someone making progress, trying to actively take himself out of that situation, it's a mirror against their own standards, and it is better to pull you down than to adopt discipline. Looking stupid. This is something that would not be eroded. This is a due that you pay consistently. Life, ups and downs. The leader at kindergarten becomes the person at the bottom of the totem pole in primary school. In the same vein, the leader in primary school becomes the bottom in secondary school. So regardless of how much success you have, when you pivot to the next business, it's most likely you're starting from scratch. Yes, I looked stupid when I was learning about the stock market, but as I pivoted after achieving success in that venture, as I pivoted to the next big thing, you start from the bottom. No customers, no clients, nothing. The first 3 months of every business is exciting. It's most likely you've either stifled the business as a consequence of lack of courage, or it didn't promulgate because of inadequacy of capital, and you've made all kinds of excuses. I would have started this business because of this. So all of the excuses are cleared, and finally you start the business. It's exciting at first, but guess what happened? After 3 months, the excitement fades. You begin to experience difficulties. No clients, no this, staff's backbiting. I hope you know, to be a leader, it's not a title. It's difficult because you're not just the visionary of the company, but you're also managing a lot of people. They see you as a mentor. They look up to you. Not most leaders understand this, but maybe it's primarily because we are in a pandemic of insecure individuals, people who think they elevate themselves by humiliating others. Therefore, you are not able to fill those roles aforementioned. You are only a visionary, but you're not a mentor, you're not a person people look up to, you don't inspire individuals or your subordinate by your action. They're just there primarily for a salary. So if you run a company where your staffs are actively seeking opportunities elsewhere, it's detestful. It means you're underperforming, you're doing something wrong. Is salary a part of it? Of course. But a major part is the culture you created, the values of the business, where they are going. I was with a friend of mine, very big businessman, on a boat. And I said to him, the business or your annual goals of a business, I can't recall how this discussion spurred up, but the objective of your quarterly or annual goals should never be primarily financial. It should always entail service and the contribution of your various staffs. It's in that contribution and giving them this a sense of fulfillment that every single person has a role as touching this success. It instills a sense of ownership, leadership, and every single person wants something to look up to, get out of bed for. The reason we pursue money is because it's elusive. It fits that category of getting out of bed to pursue something you might never catch. It might happen, it might not happen. So that sense of desire is what most people are looking for. Instead of despising them for the absent-mindedness, you can capitalize on this deficiency and tailor it to produce a desired outcome. That's far from the discourse, but how did we get here? But what you need to understand is looking stupid is a very important factor as touching leadership. It's not necessarily, in fact, it's not limited to the come up phase. You can have a business to put forward an idea that disrupts status quo. You might look stupid, nobody believes in you, the atmosphere, the energy is low. So you might look stupid. It's a concept that you can never escape. All you need to do is make do with it. For the sake of time, we'll end it here. As always, my friends, a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.